All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, coming today with a message. And I'm going to be going into your study guide. Um, I'm coming today. Yesterday, I was going to go live, but I ran it into some situations to where I said, let me pull off at the last minute, and I apologize. Um, Things go on and things happen. So here I am today, but with a different topic. Okay. I'm saying going live is because this message should go live. Mhm. This message is going to cover some things that many of us, let me put us in there, that have not been able to even go as far as what I'm about to speak on. Many people have not entered into this area in which Sister Deborah is going to cover from your study guide, the King James Version or the King James 16. Uh, to me, whether it's the King James 16, all the lost books, the found books, the King James study guide, new version, new tradition, Bible, whatever. It's all been smeared and added and taken away by man. Okay, so I believe, without a doubt, within me that, and it's not just a belief that's in me. I know as a fact that spirit and truth is different than the study guide. Spirit and truth is held up by the word. And in according for one to really understand their study guide alone, it takes the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach, to give you what you need to get the fullness of what you study. That's why it says rightly divide. See, you got to divide something. There go the twos. It ain't, you ain't dividing it into 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 categories. It's just wanting you to divide something and to divide what is truth and what is not. Only one can come to do that is righteous. Yah. That's why he said right dividing the word. It says study to show thyself approved. Rightly. There go righteous. That's righteous. Dividing the word of truth. What is the word of truth? Spirit and truth. So it lets you know that you can find spirit and truth once spirit and truth has found you and is residing within you. Okay. So earlier this morning when I got up, I got me a cup of coffee and I sat down, and I end up listening to this young lady. I think she couldn't have been the one between 23 or 23 to 25 years old. And I believe she is a boxer, like a boxer. And I was just listening to her, and I just felt a really good feeling in me regarding her, because she sounds like a mini me. Yes, she sounds like a mini me, but she was covering something so powerful, and I like the way she spoke, because she says how people deal with her cause the way she speaks and how bold she is, and how this is the way Yah created her. And this young lady, she is so sharp in what she's saying. And I like the way she did it. She was going into the store and she was talking, telling you about situations she's been in and how she believed in speaking to people and not speaking to people in the way that's going to make their flesh feel good. She just broke it down really good. And I come to say to you all, I am so grateful to even be living to hear a young woman come out like that and she's young, it leads me to understand, you know, Yah got it, his light shining under different uh, 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 generations, you see. So nobody is going to be with any type of excuse they didn't know. Because this young lady can't be no more than 23 to 25. I don't know her age, but that's the age she appeared to be to me. She could be older, she could be younger, but I just liked the things she said to the point where I actually subscribed to her. And that's not Deborah normally. Because it was almost like she was put there for me to hear. You see what I'm saying? For me to hear as a old hen, to hear the young hen, it felt good because it made me, the things she was saying was showing me, even though she don't know me, but she was in this. I'm speaking of the spirit. She's showing me that it actually, what you're saying is 100. Because I'm where you at and I'm young. So about time she get to my age, if it be the will of the Father that it be here that long, which I know it's not, but she might not have to get to my age. She's gonna be a whippersnapper. I mean, if she's at that age where she speaks so bold and so blunt, like she does, I'm gonna tell you something. She said everywhere she go, even when she was in the church, she said the pastor listened to her as long as it was talking about certain things need to stop. But when she had to confront him, it was a different story. See, it ain't, people think we work for them. And that's what's sad. I think that is really sad. People tends to really believe we are here for them. They don't understand. No, we here as servants of the Most High Yah. And this is where they get it bent. They don't understand that when women, she ain't here for me. No, I'm here for the servant. As a servant of Yah. And when people get that in their spirit, they realize, well, let me see what I'm supposed to be serving, what I'm supposed to be doing. But they don't think like that. They just assume that, okay, you're here for them. And if you're here for them, you got to be able to cover things the way they want you to cover so that they can feel a certain way. Today, I'm going to bring some information to you out of your own study guide. And I'm going to show you how far many of you all are, even in your own study. And you know why? Because this study guide, if you were studying to show thyself, the Ruach is bound to come and be your teacher. That's only if you're studying to show yourself. Prove to yourself that you can study this thing, and in the process of studying, tarry. While you're studying, you're tarrying for the Ruach to teach you. You're not studying, waiting for Sister Deborah, waiting for Facebook, waiting for YouTube. You're studying to show yourself approved. But you're in the process of tarrying because you want something higher than yourself. You want something greater than what you're studying. So you're waiting for something. You're tarrying. In the process, study. And this is what he was dealing with me this morning on. They haven't even studied their own book that they call the Word. But they want my servants to come and teach and speak and preach the Word, but they don't want to study and wait and tarry for me to be all that I can be in them. You see how messed up that is? It's messed up. But what even greater than that is what we're about to get into. We're going to learn a little bit more than what we knew a few hours ago, yesterday. We're going to learn something. And we're going to come from 2 Timothy. We're coming from 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. The good thing about 2 Timothy chapter 3 is I hear Paul schooling Timothy. Paul is schooling Timothy. Timothy is Greek and his mother is Hebrew, but his father is Greek. You see? But his mother is Hebrew. Like unto Titus. Titus was Greek and Gentile. Timothy is Greek and Hebrew, but Titus is Greek and Gentile. Notice they step on the scene to be students of Paul, because Paul was talking to the Christians. His purpose as a Hebrew Israelite, which is each and every last one of us that are Hebrew Israelites and that was born in the tribe of Judah or in the house of Israel, we were to be the light to the world. And Paul is being just that. He's just not being the light because he's a Hebrew Israelite. He's being the light to the Gentiles as well as he can be the light to us, even to today, the Hebrews. But he was called to work and teach the Gentiles, the Christians, those who were not Hebrew Israelites. Could he teach Hebrew Israelites? Sure, he could, because he was. So he can speak to them as well. But his calling, like I tried to explain to you, you know why people can't deal with you? Because they ain't found their own calling. They haven't found their purpose. They haven't found their position. They haven't felt or received any gift that they know of. Once they receive those things, guess what? They gonna ride high and low with Sister Deborah. Once you know those things and those things know you, you'll ride high and low with me because we now in the body. You feel this thing now. You see which end Sister Deborah's coming in and how she's rumbling. But when you don't have these things within you, you'll self-judge Sister Deborah any way that you can possibly do so. Because you ain't found out who you are or your purpose, your position, your called order. How are you serving Yah? You see? How do you get into the body of Hamashiach? And if you're there, what does that mean? You just there? No, it's not based on our works, he said. We can't get into the body of Hamashiach based on our works. But once you get in there, you better be about your Father's business. He's not going to put you in there and not allow you to labor within, to be a partaker. And every gift is different. Some has the same gift, but we are working in the wholeness of the body of Hamashiach. You're going to have something. He's going to give you something. Now, you don't have to work to get in there. Ooh, I love that, Father, y'all. See, it's not your works that get you into the body of Hamashiach. That's what he's saying. It's not your works that get you into it. It's Yah that puts you there. But when you get there, he ain't putting you there to just stand there, to be in the midst, to be in the way. You got a part to play. Okay, so here we go. 2 Timothy chapter 3. And we're going to start with verse 7. Now, we've been in 2 Timothy chapter 3 for many things, but I'm learning something that I didn't know yesterday. So I thought I'll bring this forth today. And you don't, boy, y'all don't know how it feels. I was watching what kind of thing is that? Or was it someone's? I was watching something last week, and when I heard this individual say that heaven says, you speak it, it's gone out to the wind. And I was like, is that not what the Father done said to me? So I can be speaking to myself. But guess what? The wind carries spirit and truth out. Because y'all say it ain't going to come back void. That means even that which I give my servant to speak, it ain't coming back void. It's going to go where it needs to go. It's going to be where it needs to be. It's going to arrive where it needs to arrive. I think that's awesome. So it's like sometimes even when I'm just talking to myself, I'll be talking to myself, but I know that if you could understand the principalities that's all above you, if you can understand the angelica that's all around you and above you, the principality that's all, so you ain't talking to yourself. See what I'm saying? People don't understand that. You see? So I'm going to get into 2 Timothy in chapter 3 and verse 7. I was wanting to get in it, but I'm going to get in it. It was going to be a tool to enhance information to individuals. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question and I'm going to answer the question. I like that. I like that. I'm going to ask the question and I'm going to answer the question, because the way I'm going to answer the question, and then I'm going to break the question down. Okay. So let's go to first. I wanted to say first, like I did at the beginning, Timothy is mother is a Hebrew, father is Greek. Titus, mother is Gentile, I believe, and father is Greek. So you got Timothy, who has a mother that's Hebrew, but his father is Greek. What does that make Timothy? What does that make Timothy? Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. There you go. Turn your face toward the wind. There you go. See that? You know what I'm talking about then. See, you know what I'm talking about. What does it mean that Timothy, what does that say that Timothy is? Who is Timothy? What is Timothy? Is Timothy Hebrew or is he Greek? If his mother is Hebrew and his father is Greek, what does that make Timothy? And Paul is schooling Timothy. That kind of help you out. Timothy is a Greek. You're who your father is. The reason why the Jew, let me not say Jews, Israel, over in Israel, they changed the whole protocol. They changed it. They changed the whole protocol. They said it's about the mothers, who the mother is. Wow. It's about who the mother is that makes the child. Who they are. You see? That's not true. This is how I was explaining in many of my videos, or how they take the Father's word and they twist it back and forward, all around, upside down, to the left, to the right, to upward and backwards. They just twist it to where the world believes everything they twist words to say. They believe it. A woman does not carry the seed, the man. The seed is in the man. That's the sperm. The woman is the incubator. So in the sperm is the blood of the father. You see? So this, for that same reason, people don't understand that a woman does not carry. She carries the seed for 9 months, but the seed is of the man. It's who the father is that makes the son and the daughter who they are. And all through your study guide, it says that. You see how important it is that you have a Bible and they still don't go by it. That's why I was explaining to you all. People got all these denominations and these religion, and guess what? They don't even go by the book in which they practice. They study and they use in the synagogue and they use in their temple. They don't even use it. They don't trust it. They don't believe it. They screw it up. They screw it down. They erase it. They do that with the King James Bibles in the Catholic churches. And all the religion. They always, Muslims, all of them. Muslims took out and made their own. But how can you take out a one to make your own? Then how do you know what is truth in the one that you took out? Because you added your own. And that's what you made truth. You see? Nobody is waiting for the Holy Spirit. Nobody is waiting for the Ruach, which is the true teacher. This is why these books you cannot take the books and make it above Yah. You got to make the books bow down to the Most High Yah. And how do you do that? You got to, when you're teaching this thing, you got to teach it on the level of the I am. You got to teach it on the level of the Most High Yah. You can't bring this book in a form to the earth and think you're going to rumble it and break it down and reveal everything and show that. What did the book say? What did the book? Wait a minute, hold up. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with Yah. The Word is Yah. It was with him in the beginning. What does that tell you? The Word is the power of who Yah is. The Word is the spirit of who Yah is. The Word is Yah. And it was with him before the beginning. This book came way, 400 or 500 years ago? The Torah had more going on for it back in the scrolls, with the scrolls. But what made the Father suffer them to take the scrolls away? People never figured it out. 2025, they still ain't figured it out. Why would the kingdom allow them to take away the scrolls if the scrolls were his word? Because something was coming that was greater than the scrolls. Something was coming that was greater than the King James 16. Something that was coming that was greater than anything on the earth. And that was the word. And what was it coming to do, Father Yah? Deborah was coming to live in you. So that tells me that the way the Ruach is living in me make me greater than the scrolls themselves. You see? But we have treated him so wrong, so negative. We have disrespected his whole makeup. We didn't let the world think it can rule the kingdom, not knowing that the kingdom created the world. They got it bent. So therefore, why would he create the world and set up before he started creating the world 2 books? What would be the purpose? The reason why is because you can say what you want on the earth, but the kingdom got it wrote in and wrote out. What are y'all talking about? That's the power of who Yah is, who he was, who he shall be, who he is going to be. You see? So watch this, y'all. When I get into watch this, y'all. When we get into Timothy, 2 Timothy chapter 3, guess what I found out? Yah is talking to the Gentiles. Yah is talking to the so-called Christians. Yah gave them a chance like he gave us a chance. Many of them lost their lives, you guys. The Roman Catholic made sure he cut out all Christians' way of thinking, living, feeling that was connected to the belief of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's Yah. They killed him. If you can go back and study, you'll see how many of the Christians lost their lives, which were Gentiles. They didn't lose their. When I went to New York, Ripley, believe it or not, is a museum. When I went in there, I was just dumbfounded to what I saw. I said, who allowed them to have this sort of thing to kill people? Yeah, they had so many things. They had like a place where you get in this box, and in this box, your head is here. And when it closes, it shoot a knife straight through your neck. And you still there just sitting in that box. You can't move, just feeling it and suffering. They had so many torment things that they had way back. These sort of things they used on the Christians. I know a lot of y'all don't understand that, and you ain't going to. Because it does not affect you today. But to know spirit and truth, that makes you in there, not out of there. You in there when you know the truth. So let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. Because it sounds like he's talking. And let me get your input. Is he talking to the Gentiles? Is he talking to the Christians? We know Titus, he's schooling. First, Paul is schooling Timothy. So he's schooling him about who? Let's go. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. All this time, we have heard 2 Timothy chapter 3. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times should come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. Now we know he's meaning that across the board. He's meaning it strictly across the board. But I'm going to show y'all something. As you continue, it says, without affection, trust breakers, false accuser, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, head minders, high minders, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yah. Now, Timothy, Paul is schooling Timothy. Now, watch this here. He's saying, having the form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, for such turn away. For, verse 6, for of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captivity silly women laddered with sin, led away with diverse lusts. Now watch this. Verse 7, 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. Verse 7, ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of truth. Now here we go. You're about to be tested. You're about to be tested. Because first thing, what do ever mean? Ever learning. Do anybody happen to know what does ever learning mean? Ever? What does that mean? Learning. What does that mean? You put them together, ever learning. Somewhere something is being said that these individuals is going to be ever learning. Ever learning. But then it says something, and it's saying they forever learning. Now you got to think, this is Paul schooling Timothy. Ever learning. And never able to come to the knowledge of truth. What does never able? Never able. Never able. So now you ask the question, ever learning and never able? Who wants to learn like that? All those years and years and years you ever learning. And you never able to come to the knowledge of truth. Ooh-wee. He's talking to a people. He's talking to a people, y'all. Ever learning. And the whole key to that verse is ever learning. Who wants to continue to learn and never come to the knowledge of what they're learning? What did I just tell y'all? The King James Version, the King James 16, they ever learning. Why is it no one's coming to the knowledge of the Hebrew Israelites, the true Jews? Why ain't nobody coming to the knowledge of Revelation and what is taking place? Why ain't nobody ever coming to the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong? What's the problem? We all sitting here saying, in the United Snakes alone, we hearing these things, we reading these things. Our ancestors been in the church and in places of worship, but yet we ever learning. What are you meaning, Paul? But Deborah, they'll never be able. You mean they're not gonna be able to come to the knowledge of truth? Wait a minute, hold up, Paul. Hold up. I know you're teaching Timothy, but what are you saying? Ever learning. That's meaning they're gonna learn. They're gonna be forever learning. But it'll never be true. Why won't it be truth? What is this truth that they need to? What is this truth? What is this truth they need to reach? You want me to tell you what it is? It's called spiritual knowledge. So then he began to say, never able. You mean, I'm like, Father, wait a minute. I know he said they're going to be ever learning, but they're going to never reach. No, Deborah. The reality has always been clearly seen. You can go back from way back to now. They still at the same level they started on. They didn't build these big churches, these cathedrals, and all these things. Ever learning scientists, scholars, and Bible scholars, and all that. Ever learning, but they will never come to. They never. But you know what the problem was? Is how they worded. They said never able. So Paul's saying they'll never be able to, Deborah. They'll never be able to. Why? I wonder, is anyone out there? Why won't they be able to? They ever learning. Remember, he said, study to show yourself approved. That's a form of learning. But why can't they reach the knowledge of truth? You know why? Many of you all out there have no idea what the knowledge is. See, you think you have the wisdom, you think you have the knowledge, but you got to understand there's two. There's a knowledge of the flesh and there's a knowledge of the spirit. Okay? There's a wisdom of the flesh and there's a wisdom of the spirit. What they're doing in their learning, they're learning wisdom of the flesh. They're learning knowledge of the flesh. So this knowledge is the knowledge of the spirit. That's what they're never going to reach. That's why they ever learning. And never will be able to come to that spiritual knowledge of truth. That's sad, but it's good. Ever learn, but never reach the level. Nowhere near it. Never be able to, Deborah, come to the knowledge of truth. Why? Because that knowledge is spiritual. And only spirit and truth can draw them to that. Not a book on this earth can bring them to the knowledge of truth. That is the Ruach HaKodesh. And only he himself can bring one to that level. So he said to many out there, and I say unto the Gentiles, the Greeks, and many, many of them, what happened? here is something people need to think about. They didn't had their King James 16. They didn't had their Bibles. They didn't, mother put them in church. They've been in church. Their mother and father been in church. The father's a pastor. They've been in church years and years and years and years. They've been in the cathedrals where the Catholic preach years and years and years and years. Forever learning. But Paul said they are never Deborah. They are never, ever, ever Deborah. Deborah, they are never, ever be able to come to the spiritual knowledge of truth. Praise the Most High God. That's a message in itself. And then when you speak in this, you have to take them there. Go and take them there, Deborah. Just go and push them out there. Take them on home. Take them on home. Why? Because this knowledge is only spiritual. And it comes from the spiritual creator. And this knowledge holds the truth that rests in also spirit and truth. Wisdom that is spiritual is a part of spirit and truth. It rests in spirit and truth. We're trying to get to Yah every way we can. But it says here, you're going to learn and learn and learn and never be able to come to the place in which my Most High Yah has assigned it to. He is. And he's telling this to the Gentiles. He's teaching Timothy so that Timothy can know what and how to teach the Gentiles with him. So he's speaking to the Gentiles. Even though when you go into 2 Timothy chapter 3, the first, from the first verse all the way down, it's talking to all men. And when you get to here, it could be talking to the Hebrew Israelites too. But when you see who Paul is talking to, which is Timothy, he's talking to the Christians. He's telling it to them. This is the sort of stuff also Paul should have been speaking to the Hebrews. This is why I say unto you, a lot of things been wiped out, y'all. No one would want to hear this. This is dangerous stuff. Let's go on. So when I get to verse 8, 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 8, it says, men of corrupt minds, reprobated concerning the faith. You mean a corrupt mind reprobated concerning faith? And I like what it says because I can kind of grip which faith it is, because there's two faiths. He said concerning the faith. And now I know what faith it is that caused a corruptible mind and a reprobated to be against that faith. Why? Because it's the real faith. Everything Yah did on the earth, he did it by twos. Because he himself knows the creation of all things on the earth has been divided by twos. For the books are divided by twos. The eternal is divided by twos, child. So what makes you think you're going to come down here and everything going to be a oneness? No. Heaven didn't design it to be a oneness. He designed it to be twos. Not a oneness. So when he's saying in 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 8, men of corrupt minds, reprobated concerning the faith. We know that ain't the faith. The true faith. We know that ain't it. Because we know this is the faith. But when he said men of corrupted minds, reprobated concerning the faith, it's concerning the real faith that their minds are against. Now watch this here. When we get to 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 9, their folly, and folly mean their foolishness, shall be manifested. And what do manifested mean? Revealed and revealed. Make something visible so you can see it. See the lies that everybody keep covering up, trying to make every picture they paint pretty. Ain't nothing pretty about it. That's why I tell y'all, don't play in this day and time and want to make everybody think that this is the time for eternal life on the earth. Stop that line. Y'all finna wrap this thing up and land this thing down. You better get in the right place with the right one. Because if you're not there, it don't mean nothing to Sister Deborah if you're not there. But I can tell you one thing, I'm sure Noah warned them too. The difference from Noah and Sister Deborah is this. Noah took a long time to build that ark. Yah has taken thousands of years to tell you the same thing I'm telling you now. When do you think he gonna pull up? See, people say, oh, he ain't coming. He prolonged his time. Ain't no real God. That's what people who once was in the church once believed. That's what they say now. They didn't went on their way. Good thing you went your way, because he was gonna send you your way anyway. Because he said he was separating the tare from the wheat, and he done that. Everybody is exactly where they need to be. Did y'all know that? Everybody is right where they need to be. Even though they think they somewhere. Even though some people think they ain't nowhere. Oh, baby, you somewhere. Oh, yeah, you somewhere. Because everybody is where heavens had divided them from the kingdom. We are where we should supposed to be. Even Sister Deborah, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Now, let me tell you this. This is what I've said many a times and years ago. Now, if I'm written in the Lake of Hell book, guess what? I can be written there, and down here, I'm still going to proclaim what I know. Oh, you can send me to hell, but I'm going to tell it like I know it, like I feel it, and like it tells me. Hell bound or heaven bound, it don't make no difference when I'm down here in darkness trying to teach light. I got to be about the light, not the darkness. I can't tell you if I'm going to eternal heaven. I know the Ruach is in me, but I can't speak for him. Said, oh, I'm written I'm on the 5th line. I can either go either way. But while I'm down here, I'm going to try to work the way of him, the way of his light, as much as possible. Because nobody is perfect. No one is sinless. It ain't who you are, it's who he is when he's in you. See, a lot of people don't even have him in them. And they think they all that answer. But no, baby, that ain't make you all that in something. It's only when he greater in you that make you something. Outside of that, you ain't nothing but filthy rags. And people don't get that. And they'll get offended because you're saying it. I don't give a rat's behind. And the behind of the rat. I don't care. I speak spirit and truth. I was telling you all about the little girl, the young girl that I was listening to this morning. She just did something to Sister Deborah's little heart. And all her message was about is breaking down how she said people telling her she shouldn't talk like that. She shouldn't be so bold. She shouldn't be so blunt. Tell it, baby. Because I don't think people realize what this world is. Satan has truly got full dominion, full deception, full deceive the whole world. He has done it. People walking around here like this heaven. They walking around, they ain't feeling nothing. Because they think what they got is going to keep them from feeling anything. Oh, no, baby. We're in that day. How many times you think Noah? Somebody said he built the ark. It took 100 years. I don't know. But I can tell you this. It's been way longer than 100 years. What I'm saying, y'all been saying. Oh, yes. Way longer than 100 years. Okay. So in verse 9, it says, the folly, which is the foolish, shall be manifested, shall be revealed. See, that's why I said, y'all, things, you all are thinking that things are going to stay hidden in the dark. No, no, no. I sit back and I heard someone say that, and this was, I don't know what race he was, but he wasn't melanated, and he didn't look like he was white. But he was saying, I don't know why people don't understand that it's nothing hidden. He said the whole United States and the world is showing you, especially, he said the United States is showing you everything that they have done, everything they are doing, and everything they getting ready to do. It's clearly seen. They putting it straight in the people's face. And he said the people acting like they don't see none of it. That's now, this man is on one side, I'm on another. How could both of us be saying the same thing? Well, where are you? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense how so many people can be saying it. And so when I hear this young girl talking this, I'm like, oh, Father, she's way down there in the beginning generation speaking it. See? You are not going to allow spirit and truth to be spoken. Cut out, because it ain't in you. It's going to walk itself up and it's going to walk itself down. You just going to be left behind. Okay, so here it's telling you it's going to be manifested and it's going to be made visible unto all men. As, watch this here, as theirs also was. There you go again. Go back to 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 9. Their folly shall be manifested unto all men, as theirs also was. Theirs also was. What does that mean? What is it saying? What is that meaning? In 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 9, their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. No one can tell you what that means. No one. This shows you the distance of people from truth. Any type of truth that's coming. Here in 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 9, it says their folly. That means their foolishness shall be manifested, which means revealed unto all men, as theirs also was. It's telling you these men, folly, foolishness, and these men, the things that they're doing is being revealed unto all men, as theirs also was, meaning their forefathers. So this has been going on a long time. So that's why I say that don't be surprised you wake up tomorrow and it's over for you. Don't be surprised. You wake up tomorrow and it is totally over for you. Because people thinking they're going to live high on a hog, and that gives them this here assurance that I'm going to be okay. Ain't nobody going to be okay without the Ruach in them. And even those who are going to have the Ruach going to have to go through the tribulation and the perilous time. Oh, yes, we too. So I don't know where people are getting off, cutting up from the floor up and living the way that they are living, thinking that they are exempt. People have stopped doing everything they're supposed to be doing and walking in the light, and they are turning back to the vomit. But it was said. Why? Because he didn't separate the wheat from the tare. He didn't seal his in the forehead. Everybody else is just going to be around here going in circles, chasing their tails, trying to figure out, wait a minute, I'm getting dizzy chasing my own tail. Which way shall I go? Which way shall I go? Because they're going to be so dizzy. They ain't going to know. Only place they're going to want to go is to fall out. But when they fall out and get back up, guess what? They're going to have to start chasing their tails because they ain't chased the Most High God. So even though it took Noah all these years, let's say if it did take him 100 years to build the ark, do you really believe that it's going to take another 100 years? No, baby, it's over. Many of you have not even seen how Revelation has walked itself up and walked itself down, because it's not coming like you read it. It's coming the spiritual route and then into the natural. So therefore, you got to see something different than what you're reading. It's coming a different way, y'all. It's coming, but it's coming a different way, in a different form. But it's coming. Somebody like me, I can see it, Revelation. I can see it, even to the point where I could not see where he was telling me how it was smeared so bad. You see Matthew's taking this place as the same as Revelation, say 8 and 9 and 10. Well, wait a minute, why are we down here to Matthew's 24? You know why? You've been in Matthew 24. You just still waiting for something else outside of what it said. It's already been in moving. Revelation is moving, and everybody's sitting around here waiting. See, people are waiting for things to really knock on their door. That's the dangerous thing. Because I realized, guess what I realized? And this was years ago. With the Hebrews in captivity for 400 years, it had a meaning to it. It had a purpose. It had a meaning to it. It had a purpose. It was a form of winging out as well. Because somewhere in that 400 years, you were supposed to feel something. You were supposed to feel spirit and truth. Oh, yeah, you can't get out of the captivity, but you are free. You are truly set free. Yah has truly pardoned you and set you to liberty while you in captivity. They can't feel it. They couldn't feel it. That's why so many of even Judah think that they are Catholics, think that they are Christians, think that they are Europeans. You see, they're going backwards. They're not moving forwards. Forwards were where they were supposed to get something out of it. You think that really, seriously, y'all have never done anything on the earth. Nothing was done on the earth. Every creation has its purpose. Every creation has its mission. What made a people not see that 400 years had its purpose, had its mission? You ain't gonna hear them preach and teach that. You'll never hear them preach and teach it, because it's not in them. It's not in them to do so. So when you read 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 9, it began to tell them as theirs also was. It's telling you the forefathers. So actually, Paul is telling Timothy, this has been going on a long time, bro. These ways of these men, it's like unto their fathers. It's the same thing. That's what Paul is saying. Today, Judah men would never get that. They would never, ever get it. If the Judah men would go back, each man would go back. Let's just only take 10% out of 100. If they would go back and learn the history of their fathers, if they would have done that, they'll have a whole different mindset. But where do they have to start? In their study guide. Because it was always Yah's will that a man learn of his father, because his ways rest in who his father is. And if his father's ways was not of Yah, then that means, son, make your ways of me. I will break that generational curse. So your sons and your sons and your sons own generation won't have to suffer what your forefathers did. But what happened? Nah, I don't want to know who my father is. He was the best, best, best men, or the best, best, best women, or the did. So where they lost their way. And I don't think they lost their way. Because as I see different in Isaiah, and I hear in Ezekiel, and I hear Jeremiah, I say, well, y'all saying the same thing I'm saying today. Y'all was saying it sharp back then, brother. He said, but did they listen then, Deborah? No. So you think that in this end day, it's time for him to back it up another 100,000, 30, 50, 20 years? Y'all sick. You're sick. I got 2 granddaughters. Neither nor I believe I will see them in college. I don't look for those days, because what I can see today in the spirit realm, I don't see no tomorrow. So if y'all want to ride that stallion in the dust, in the desert, thinking you going somewhere, you go right ahead. Pretty soon you ain't gonna find no water, none whatsoever. So I want to also cover unequally yoke. Unequally yoke. Understanding what unequally yoke is consist of, what it stands for, and what it means. When you speak of unequally yoke, you know that that's not something that Yah created. Yah did not create unequally yoke as a form of what we that are equal should supposed to be detached to. Unequally yoke is of the darkness. Equally yoke is of the light. Okay? Unequally yoke is of the darkness. Equally yoke is of the light. When you look at equal, who can define the word equal? This is going back to show you how many, 99.9, study this book and has lost the whole purpose of Yah, even in their lives. Yah being the word. Because when I think of him telling me equally, that's why a man and a wife in the beginning of Genesis is feminine and masculine. They're equal. She's equal and he's equal in the oneness, coming in the oneness in him. But they got to be equal. One can't be greater than the other. That's not how Yah designed it. But if we were to take it as he designed it, and we lost it, we dropped the ball a long time ago, because he designed it. I don't know if you all understand. They be talking about feminine and masculine, but when they finish, who Yah is what he created. The image of what he created. So we can't take feminine and masculine and make it a man creation. You got to understand, if he created a female and a male, or a woman and a man, you got to understand that he created them different from his own image. How are you going to create a woman out of your image if you are a man? If Yah is a male, okay, how are you going to create a woman out of your own image? Or if Yah is a female, how are you going to create a man out of your own image? You see? So the image of Yah is a spirit. And in his spirit, he is feminine and masculine. That's how he created male and female. They are spirits. But they have been created by that right hand as a female and a male, which stands for the flesh. You see? That's equal, y'all. What make it equal, Deborah? When he said oneness. When you come into anything and you become equal, you become the same together. That's equal. Let me give you an example. You know how they say unequally yoked? Unequally yoked. What makes a person unequally yoked? They're not the same. One, it's like darkness and light. What do they have in common? Nothing. They unequal because one is dark and one is light. But what is it Yah is saying when he's saying and wanting us to be equal? He wanted us to bring him back to the oneness of who he is. He's feminine and masculine. Bring that bad boy back to who I am. That's my image. I don't care what the world wants to make it, and that's why the world is in the situation it's in today. It broke the protocol a long time ago. Unequally yoked. It's not of Yah. It is of the flesh. It is of the darkness. Equally yoked is of Yah. That's why he say, be ye not unequally yoked. So if he's saying be not unequally yoked, what is he saying? Be equal. Because they dropped the ball out of his creative position was that male and female do and create and multiply and replenish and rule this world equal. Why? Because he rules everything in his oneness. And when he gave you his image, his expectation was for a male and a female to come into a oneness in him as it is in the heaven. But they separated it and made it about him and put her on the ground. And as you read your own little study guide, it tells you your own study guide, your own study guide, your own study guide. It tells you how he's going to deal with that. Oh, yeah, he got plans. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Oh, yes, the Most High Yah got something planned for that. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. In 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14, it says here, and who is this speaking? I believe it's Paul. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Wait a minute, hold up. What's going on? Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteous with unrighteous? And what communication have light with dark? So when people run around here getting married, stop lying. Y'all did not unite your marriage. Your flesh did. Because your ideal of a man and a woman is having the respect that she is feminine and he is masculine. We both have to seek ye the kingdom first. And in that, we come together as one. Because we understand Yah is feminine and he is masculine. And for that same flesh reason, how we seek Yah, we got to seek him as a oneness. Not one greater than the other. You know what that also leads me to understand? How the work has to be divided between each one of us. Where the woman is weak, the man is strong. Where the man is weak, the woman is strong. Did not Yah set it up like that? When he took the man's sperm and put it in the woman, and the woman had to bury it 9 months and bring it to forth and have labor and go through all that and bring them all the way up until they're 18 till they go into college. Wait a minute. Where's the equal? You see what I'm saying? Yah knew what he was doing, but he wanted us to understand his creation, not the way those who ever learning never coming to the knowledge have created things to be. And we went their way because we felt fit that it would go the way that pleases us. Now here it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, be ye not unequally yoked together with the unbeliever. For what fellowship has righteous with unrighteous? So when we running around here marrying, lying on the Most High, he ain't got nothing to do with us, nor our marriage. That's us. That's flesh. Unequally yoked. But if you married and you had no idea that this is the makeup of Yah and the will of Yah, guess what? Now you're married already. And he said, now the wife can sanctify the husband, and the husband can sanctify the wife. Why? Because you're now married and you didn't know this, but you know, if you didn't know it and you know it now, one can sanctify the unbeliever, and the unbeliever can sanctify the man can sanctify his wife, which is an unbeliever, and the wife can sanctify her husband, which is unbeliever. You see? But if the unbeliever decide to leave, let him leave. If the unbelieving wife decide to leave, let them leave. Why? Because they're not bound. Darkness is not bound to light, and light is not bound to darkness. All this mess that y'all sat and lied on the Most High about is all lies. You don't go to the altar lying what Yah has joined together. We and Yah join light with darkness and darkness with light. You bring your marriage into repentance and saying, Yah, we took on our own flesh, our lust and our desire and our want. We want you in it. We want you to rule it. We want you to show us the way, direct us and guide us in this marriage as you created in the oneness. But guess what? When you enter into that kingdom, and there'll be no oneness no more. You going as one. That's why you cannot sit on this earth and let these men tell you it's about what they say. Many wives and do what we want and use a lie from the pit of hell. Satan has already deceived them to the fullness. And like it said in 2 Timothy, how they have messed up the minds of everybody else, and they have their folly shall be manifested until all men. They lies. And it's okay. It's okay. Because y'all said from the beginning, Satan was coming down to deceive the whole world, and he did it successfully, easily, simple, and still doing it to the utmost. So here he's wanting us to understand that being yoked together, either you're equal or you're unequal. And he is not yoking together unequally yoked. Yah is not doing that. You doing it. And you're calling it when he get in there to say your marriage vows. That's your marriage vows from your flesh. That is not the marriage vow from the heart of the Spirit of Yah. Because he ain't bringing no dark with no light and no light with no dark. So y'all need to be checked in that, lying on him. That's just flesh uniting together out of lust and want and desire, and hope that Yah will want to intervene. No, that's why he tell us to seek ye the kingdom first. And he'll work these things out of us and in us so we can understand him and who he stands for and who he is and what he's about. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We want it to be about us. We want to do it our way. And that's what the whole world, y'all, is ran exactly like that. And no one have any problems. They're living it to their utmost. Just as the days of, I'm telling you, I can't stop saying like the days of Noah, because that's what I see. That's what I see it. It's exactly Okay, so here he's telling you in Second Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteous with unrighteous? And what communication have light with darkness? So when you going around here talking about marrying and you married and oh y'all ain't did nothing. Oh, we've been married for 40 years of hell. If you really want to tell the truth of the matter. When there is no equal yoke from the beginning, there ain't going to be no equal yoke at the end. You're going to be living your fleshly life out, married, your fleshly will. You're counting on one another. You ain't counting on the Most High Yah. Because you came into the marriage unequally. Now, if you got someone in there that found the knowledge now, and Yah has anointed them and have lived, is living in them, they have to walk in the light. And if their spouse is not in the light, don't worry, just walk you in the light, because what you didn't know, you didn't know. Many people didn't know. Boy, I have set so many people free when they've been thinking that I can't get no divorce. I've been married to this man all these years. Baby, he's talking about equally. Not unequally married, yoked, equally. That's what he did with Adam and Eve. He even created them to be equal. I know. What part of you don't get? That's what he did. He created them to be equal on this earth. Having dominion on this earth, equal. Having ruler over this earth, equal. Oh, there ain't nobody going to preach that. They ain't going to teach that thing. No, Deborah, they can't teach that, Deborah. You know they can't teach that. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7, in verse 12 through 15. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 12 through 15. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit. No, that ain't it. Let me see where I'm at. No, chapter 7. I'm on chapter 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I'm a long way. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 7. For I would that all men were even as I myself. This is Paul. But every man has his purpose, has his proper gift of Yah. One after this manner and another after that. I like that, because he did. He gave everyone they give. And in verse, no, I'm in the wrong place again, y'all. I'm in the wrong place again. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 12 through 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 12 through 15. And it reads, let's see if I got it again. 12, verse 12. But to the rest speak I not Yah. If any brethren have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. Okay. What he meaning there is, if you care for her and she care for you, don't put her away because she don't believe in what you believe in. Okay. And you notice it says to the rest. Just because you do found the light, you can't go out here and put her away because you done found the light. That's what it said. Let him not put her away because you have found the light. Give her that space to find the light. You sanctify her so she can desire the light that you receive, because you both came in it unequal. So now you done found the light. It's just like I have this. I might be wrong here, but I always thought this. I say now, when you get two people coming together and they alcoholics, they get along really good. Okay? Let's say a man married this woman and she was drinking. He never drank. All of a sudden he began to drink. Now, both of them are alcoholics. You see? Now, one comes out, decide not to drink any longer. Now they feel they don't care for the one that continue to drink. I know y'all have heard of that because that's how it normally goes. It's same with drugs. It's same with every sin. Once you come out, you just assume, I don't want to be, I see it for what it is, and I don't want to be a part of that. But here is saying in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 12, but to the rest speak it. That means those that's not in the light. I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believe not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And verse 13, and the wife and the woman which has a husband that believeth not, and if she is pleased to dwell with her, and he is pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Verse 14, for the unbeliever husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are holy. Okay, verse 15, but if the unbeliever depart, let him depart. See, a lot of people don't know that because they hang on to this thing that, oh, he don't like divorce. He don't like divorce. Baby, he's talking about equally yoked. There's no equally yoked. Equally yoked. Look at Adam and Eve. They was equally yoked in what? Sin. They was equally yoked as a oneness in their sin. You see? They were equally yoked in sin. Adam and Eve was equally yoked in sin. That's how equal they were in sin. Okay? They wasn't believers. They was unbelievers in a perfect world, in a perfect creation, in the sinless creation. They was unbelievers. Somebody said, well, Deborah, you shouldn't say that. They weren't unbelievers. They was perfect. They were unbelievers because they didn't believe not to take of the tree. They took the tree that they were told not to, so they didn't believe what he said not to do. So who would do that? An unbeliever. We don't care about what he said. We don't believe him. We're going to take this tree. They were unbelievers. See, y'all don't know how heaven rumbles. You think y'all didn't know they were unbelievers? Yeah, he knew they were unbelievers. He knew it. He knew what heaven sent down. But they were believers. They was yoked together as unbelievers. They were yoked together as the seed of darkness. Oh, yes. See, all right, they ain't gonna preach that. They ain't gonna tell that truth. Just because y'all made everything perfect. You notice, I noticed something that was, everything was created perfect. There also was a tree of good and evil in a perfect world. Come on now. Tell me my Father ain't powerful. Y'all better stop denying who he is in that right hand and that power. You know what he doing? Just because you don't understand it don't mean he don't. He know what he placed down here. In verse 15, but if the unbeliever depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but Yah has called us to peace. Now see, it's actually telling you, don't go around here trying to stay in a marriage. You getting beat. You dealing with alcohol and drugs. A lot of males are not working in the household. And because you're saying you married, you got to stay in that marriage. Your marriage ain't equal in the eyes of Yah. Your marriage is not equal in the eyes of Yah. Do y'all, no, I know y'all don't understand this, but let me say this. Do y'all understand that nobody put that tree in that garden of good and evil? You think Satan just can come down here and get in that garden the way he wants? No, I heard, yeah, created the trees in the garden. If it did, have it ever dawned on you that he put that tree in there? I mean, Father Yah, what you doing? You created everything perfect. Father Yah, you said it was good. Hold on, Father Yah. It was sinless. I mean, hold on, Father Yah. Could it have been really sinless? Because there was no sin. Satan sitting up in there. Evil sitting up in there. See, no one ever would teach you that. No one ever would bring that forth to you so you can understand. They would deny it and run and try to teach any and everything outside of that. Because they dropped the ball a long time ago and they don't even know how to pick it up because the ball don't want to be in their hand no way. Spirit and truth don't want a part in their hand, their mouth, their spirit, their heart, their mind. Spirit and truth ain't got nothing to do with that. So they let them go their way because they have lost their way. And they have found pleasure walking in darkness, a lost way. Okay? Satan has deceived the whole world. He done what he come down here to do. It's time to swoop the coop. And he knew it. You don't see, you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something that's powerful. We sit our dumb tails down here on this earth as human beings, running around here thinking we holier than thou. We all this and some. We all that. Oh, I know I got the rule. You don't have nothing. Because to know that you got it, you will be serving him like you have him in you. Not running your mouth about how much you got him. But where we are sick is at, we are sicker than sick, is we as human beings. I'm going to go there. Or the sickest species on the face of the earth. I do not and will not see Satan to be as sick as we are. I will not. Because from what I understand, he obeys the Most High Yah. The waves obey him. The sun, the moon, the trees, the grass, the birds. But we that he has given his image, forget you, I'm going my way. This is my life to live. Too ignorant to know you ain't never had a life. You got a living of the flesh, but you ain't never had a life of your own. It is the breath of life that's in you, not you having life. That's the dumbness that's in people. And it's going to reside with them. It's going to live and die in them. Because the same one, watch this, that created whatever it was in that garden is the same one that has created tribulation, perilous time, lawlessness, judgment, and wrath to take his place. So just think of that. Do you really believe you got the power and the control to rule everything? Even yourself. Everything obeys him. Everything bows down to him. Satan, when he tells Satan, take a left, which way? Is it this way? He trembles at the word of Yah. And we walk around here. I got it. I'm this. I'm that. I know I'm in there. I know I'm going to kingdom. I know I'm going to Mount Zion. Sit your tails down. Tomorrow is not promised to me nor you. You better learn what you need to learn today. Because you're doomed to the lake of fire tomorrow with that mindset. Satan would buckle at Yah. He did it with Yeshua. Why? Because Christ was in there. That was all power. He buckled at Yeshua. I'm like saying, Father, wait a minute, hold up. You're going to send one angel down there to chain up Satan? Satan deceived the whole world. He tough. He bad. How tough and how bad can he be? When all y'all did is gave a chain and a key to the angel. Go down there and chain him up. Satan said, here, chain me up, shackle me, shut your mouth. He even muzzled his mouth. So he don't go down yonder talking to those that still down there for 1,000 years. When Satan get up, you know what first place he's gonna do? See what order the Father has for him. Satan ain't coming down here to take, I'm gonna deceive them again. No. Let me tell y'all, let me explain something to y'all. Satan's mission to deceive the whole world has been met. Okay. I, as a prophetess in the wilderness living today, I can vouch that Satan has deceived the whole world. Because if Deborah say, like, y'all, look, here goes the light right here. Understand this light. 99.16 trillion will look the other way. So that leads me to understand they go the way of the darkness. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying one or two. I'm saying the multitude does. So he has fully deceived the world because I see that they would rather cater, believe, smile, support, live with, die with darkness before they peep over to any light. Satan coming up out to deceive God and Magog. And God, Magog is going to be consist of all the other nations that has come, like BRICS trying to do, come into a oneness. And that alone, Satan coming up just to deceive them to do that. Do y'all understand that Satan purpose of deceiving the whole world has been met? That's why all this chaos is on the earth. He has caused the whole world to see things in darkness, to see things in his way, to walk in his way, to talk in his way, to live in his way, to think in his way, to feel in his way. He did it. You think y'all mad? You think the Most High y'all mad? He ain't mad. He glad it's going according to his will. It was said before anything was that he come down to deceive the whole world. Did not y'all give him that just to do that? And he mastered it. He deceived the whole world. I heard a young man master the pyramid that I was speaking about. He mastered that pyramid to the T. But guess what problem he had? We've been studying this all these years. I don't know if it was 2009. We've been mastering and trying to study. And they came up with it. They did good. I like the idea. They had them all lined up, just like Sister Deborah. I just heard this a few days ago. Just like Sister Deborah told y'all what the pyramid was made up. When somebody else come along and say stuff like that and master what I've said already, it gives me the firepower to know that I'm who y'all created me to be. Here they are, been studying it all these years. Y'all gives it to me in a quick of a moment and the flashing of a light. And here he was saying, listen to this, y'all. He was sitting here, he broke it down. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, he did a really good job. He did a really good job. But guess what? They got a little more to go because they trying to understand. We don't understand who on the top of the pyramid. Whoever it is on the top of the pyramid, all they want is power. I told y'all, Satan can't do nothing with your money. He don't need your stanky flesh. He don't need nothing you got. He needs the power over your thoughts, your minds, your doings, your thinkings, and your feelings. He needs the power over all of that. Satan wants power. And I sat back and I said, oh, so Father, that's what makes Yah so awesome and so powerful, because he turned around when that Ruach teach you, He gonna teach you way and above all these fools out here teaching you or your ear listening to. When I heard that man say that, he said, and we're all coming together. He said they done movies. He said that a lot of the things he was talking about, how so many things they have shown us in movies. Even they speak it to us today. They show it to us on TV. They tell the people what they're doing. You see how awesome Yah is? Yah is like saying, I told Satan he better keep that light on so these fools can see. So it ain't that what's going on that can't be seen. It ain't nothing that Deborah is bringing forth that's just started. Maybe this stuff was in the beginning before the foundation of the world. It came down with his creation. We just lost. We took the other side. Let me pull out, Deborah. People took the other side of darkness. They couldn't stand the light. They wanted to abide in darkness. And y'all left them there. When that ball was dropped, I'm like saying, but Father, come on now. You're gonna let them pick up the ball, Father Yah? You're gonna let them pick up that ball, Father Yah? Father Yah, but the ball been dropped. Deborah, I'm not coming here. And no, I'm sending another. The ball was dropped. That's where it's gonna stay. Why? Because I knew the ball was gonna be dropped. But I still gave them spirit and truth. I knew they was gonna drop the ball. Just like in the garden, I knew the two seeds that came down, woman, Adam and Eve. I knew those were serpent seeds. That's why I put their daddy down there, so they can run to him. So I'm trying to figure this thing out. So when Satan comes back, Satan's next charge is to go to the altar. And I ain't talking about to the altar of the kingdom, but the altar of where he knows he got to come before. And when he come and bow down. And y'all tell him, I want you to go to Magog, to the whole world. God Magog, as we in the world know it, as we that's living down here. But y'all going to say it to him to go and deceive them again. And have him to come to the battlefield. Now you're going to tell me y'all can't, wait a minute, hold up, y'all, can't you go down there and drag them to the battlefield? Can't you go and have them all to come to the battlefield? Yeah? Oh, no. Satan know I use him. I created him and everything on the earth. I use what I created. I'm going to have him to go to deceive them to come to the battlefield. Just go tell them to come on to the battlefield. You think they ain't going to take their tail to the battlefield? Why? Because the same one that deceived the whole world this time is the same one going to come up after 1,000 years and deceive God and Magog, which is going to be consist of all the nations, to come to the battlefield to do what? To die. They ain't coming to battle. So they think they coming with their swords and their weapons and baby, you just coming to die. And I like the beauty of how Yah is going to do that. People so ignorant. What makes you think the one that created all things need to come out in their fist fight? What makes you think he need to come down there and start fighting? When he going to send Satan, Satan going to come to the throne and he going to say, and I don't mean the throne of Yah, but Satan that knows how to bow down to Yah. Just because you ain't figured out yet don't mean he don't know. So he knows how to come before Yah. And Yah sent him to go tell them to come to the battlefield. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me up. Thank you for giving me another opportunity to be who I am. That's Satan talking to Yah. Thank you so much for letting me up out of the hell, or giving me another chance to do what I do best. Thank you so much. Oh, so you want me to get them all? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So he takes his tail to collect the whole world to believe him a second time. Why do you say a second time? Because the first time he didn't deceive your tail already. He had deceived the whole world. He has already deceived the whole world. I see all these clowns in the government and nobody can see straight through it. He has deceived the whole world. When you can't see straight through Donald Trump and over in Israel, and you can't see where Satan's seed is at and all this stuff, you know what? You're blind still. You're going to live blind, die blind, and going to wake up blind. But oh, when the judgment seat is there, you're going to see some light. But that's going to be your last time. Okay? So Satan saying to the Father, okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me come up and do this, what I do best again. So he goes to deceive them. Tell them to come to the battlefield. What is Satan doing? He's telling them, come on. Y'all going to put them on fire. Oh, yeah, they're going to get the second fire. But the Most High, y'all going to put them on fire on the earth. In one place. So you see how good Satan gonna come back up and deceive all of them to come? He's gonna kill them. The flesh. He's gonna burn them with fire. See, a lot of people think it's gonna be about the fire of the lake of hell. Oh, no, baby. It's gonna be a fire on the earth that's gonna burn them up. Oh, yeah. See, y'all think y'all know something. Oh, I forgot. They didn't teach him that, Father. They didn't teach them. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said nothing. Because the other fire is going to be eternal. Eternal. It's going to be hotter than fire itself. That's where the spirit going. But he got to kill all his flesh on this earth. He got to end this thing. But who are he going to end it with? He going right back to hell. Unchain that fool down there. Tell him to come on up. Satan going to be so happy. He going to be so happy to get another opportunity to do what he does best before he go to the lake of hell. You see how he feel blessed? See, while your tail running your tail down here, thinking you all that and some, and disrespecting the Father, thinking you all that and some, Satan is sitting here telling your stupid tales through your own study guide. He giving me another chance to do what I do best. I deceived the world. Father, he tell the Father, I deceived the world real good, didn't I? I got what I liked it. I wanted to have in heaven. I got it on earth. Yes, he did. Satan wanted the throne of power in the heavens. But guess what? When y'all put him on the earth, guess what? Y'all gave him the power to have what he was wanting to have in the kingdom. He conquered it on the earth. So being chained down and then having 1,000 years and having to come back up, that's up his alley. That's up his alley. He delighted in that. And don't think he wasn't giving y'all the glory. So y'all tails run around here and think Satan is separate from y'all. No, y'all created him. Even he know how to respect y'all better than you can. Or you do. He's going to be delighted to go and deceive God and make God, all the other world. But he's deceiving them to a different level of deception. He's going to deceive them so well. All them stupid people going to come to the battlefield to get put on fire. I have a problem with people thinking that Yah need to come off his throne to throw down. For what? He don't need to do that. He didn't need to do it with Solomon and Gomorrah. He didn't need to do it with the days of Noah. Everything on the earth worship him. Everything in the heavens worship him. His word is the power. His power is the word. He speak it and it's going to rain fire. The flood, see, a lot of y'all didn't understand the flood. Don't forget, underneath us is water and above us is water. He brought both of them together to drown the earth at the sound of his voice, which is his word. Both waters came together to do the will of the flooding of Noah. Sit your tails down and stop clowning, thinking you know something. There's a lot you don't know, but you got to understand because you don't have the ear to hear what Yah has to say in the end days. Can it benefit you? No. It can't benefit you if you don't have the Holy Spirit. Because with the Ruach, you're to go out and teach and speak to other people. There is so many people out there waiting to hear the last word, the last trumpet. They are waiting because they got so much invested. Like the young lady I told you I heard this morning. I'm sitting here looking at her. I said, that's a mini-me. She's a mini-me. And I had to subscribe to her. I said, she's a mini-me. You know? And what she said was a form of comforting even this old he and me. Because she couldn't have been no more than 23, 25. Might not even be that old, or might not even be that young. But she's a boxer. She's a boxer. You see? And she went on to saying this and talking about how everybody say how she need to change the way she speak, how she talk. She said, now, they know who she is. She said, if they think for 1 minute, the way that I am is the way he created me to be. This is the way I have to speak. And she said, there's times when she speak away, and then y'all tell her to chime it down. But the way he said chime it down, it's like boosting it up. It's really cute the way she was saying it, the way she was saying it. So I had to subscribe to her this morning because I thought that was really, really neat. But back to what I was saying. Everybody has respect for the Father outside of the flesh of men and women, males and females. The one that carry in his image, they think they all that answer. But if they would have known, nope, Deborah, nope. They wouldn't have done nothing no different than they're doing today. I started to say, if they had known that they were carrying his image in them in a way of a spirit, and then they were to get to know their spirit, maybe they would know. The Father said, everything is on track. Nothing is off track in his will. Everything is on track. Everything is going according to his ways. So in 1 Corinthians in chapter 15, it says, 1 Corinthians in chapter 7, verse 15, it says, but if the unbeliever depart, let him depart. See, because you all do not understand. Yah is not joining light with dark and dark with light. Yah is joining light with light. And he won't join, but he'll allow darkness to join darkness. That's how it's made up, y'all. I know a lot of y'all didn't know that. But in my younger years, I had to reveal that to a lot of people that have been married. Because I'm going to tell you something. Being married has just to say the word married, people don't understand that means nothing if the marriage is not two in the light. If you got a marriage that one is in the dark and one is in the light, that means something, because the one that's in the light can sanctify the one that's in the dark. Okay. And if you can, the one that's in the light, if that one that's in the light can work with the one that's in the dark, then it's okay. But the marriage itself is not what Yah has joined together. When you got two people in the dark, they can divorce anytime. When you got two people that's in, one in the dark and one in the light, they can divorce anytime. But when you got two lights, it's called equal, equally yoked. That's what he created in Genesis 1, chapter 26, 27, and 28. I created male and female. I created them. Them brings it into an equal. You see? And just because the world and man has taken the equal and destroyed it, a lot of people don't understand what equal means. Because even when we say equal, it is still yet detached to the beginning in Genesis. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Equal. Who can define equal? Who? I do have it right here. Let me see if I can grab it right quick, if I have it. Equal. Nope, I don't. Equal. Equal is together, as if 1 plus 1 is 2. By that one being 1 and the other one being 1, it brings us into a oneness to the number 2. So when you get to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27, so Yah created man in his own image, and in the image of Yah created he him, male and female. And if he would have left it like that, that would have been okay. But he said, male and female created he them. He brought them into a them, which is what you call a oneness. Okay. And then let me show you where else he brought them into a oneness. And Yah blessed them. His blessing upon woman and man was a oneness. Okay. Was a oneness. Just because he knew that they was a seed of the serpent doesn't mean his order of creation wasn't intact. Woo! See, somebody turn around and say, why would he do that for male and female and they was the serpent seed? Because he can do that. That's what make him the I am. He still made everything perfect and still put Satan in the garden. Answer that question. How about that? He do what he want to do, how he want to do it, the way he want to do it, and you don't tell him. Just because you misunderstood the way man then smeared these books, that's on you. You lost with the cause and without. Okay? Because here where he also brought them into an equal. Watch this, y'all. Verse 27. Genesis, he brought them equal when he created them and called them them. And then he brought them to equal, and that's in verse 26. He brought them into equal in verse 26 when he said, let them have dominion. Wait a minute, hold up, Father. That was your righteous will. I don't have no other will but righteous. Deborah, what are you talking about? But Father, you said right there, they have dominion as them. And then it tells you over the fish in the sea, over the fowls, over the air. Wait a minute. Over the fowls of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth. Over all the earth? You mean you had feminine woman created all over the earth equal to man? Now watch this here. And over every creeping thing that creeps on upon the earth. Now watch this. Everything he said in 26 is a oneness. It's equal. He divided all that into equal because he brought it into them, male and female. You get to 27, and Yah created man in his own image, and in his image he created he, him, and male and female created them. There go that oneness again. There go that equal. He created them to be equal in their purpose, in their creation. They are equal to do everything on the earth. Now watch this here. Verse 28, and Yah blessed them, okay? And Yah said unto them, be fruitful, equal, multiply, equal, replenish, equal, subdue, equal, have dominion over the fish in the sea and the fowls in the air and every living thing on the face of the earth. He made them equal. That's why it's no such thing as Eve being tempted. It's no such thing. Even that alone would take them out of that oneness of equal. Only way that can take Eve out of that oneness of equal if she wasn't there. She wasn't there. Because when he put him into that garden, it was only him. So they say. With me, I don't agree with it. Because man didn't smear too much up and too much down. But regarding if the both were in there or not, They were serpent seed bound anyway. Praise the Most High Yah. They was bound as serpent seed either way it go. So then I went to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 25. We're talking about equally. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 25, it says, now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of Yah. That's what Paul is saying. Yet I give my judgment. I like that. I like that because Paul is allowing the Gentiles, in which I wish that we would have been told by our forefathers the way that Paul was teaching the Gentiles, because he's letting the Gentiles know that this is not Yah saying this. This is me. See, that's what I like. I like that, because if a lot of that was placed in this book, then we'll be able to a little bit better be able to separate what Yah is saying versus what man's words are saying, because he automatically said, this is not. And in another one, he said, this is not the commandment of Yah. This is I. Paul had a way of saying that, just so people won't be running saying, oh, but Yah said. So this is what the Gentiles were getting. They was getting the real deal. So here in verse 25, Paul said, now concerning the virgins, I have no commandment of Yah. Yet I give my judgment as one that has obtained mercy of Yah to be faithful. Okay. Verse 26, I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man. It is good for a man so to be. Verse 27, are thou bound unto your wife? Now watch this, y'all. This is what I don't understand. They never preached. Why didn't the Hebrew Israelites teach this to the true Hebrew Israelites? Now listen to this, verse 27. Thou art bound unto a wife. Seek not to be loosed. Seek not to be loose. Because you are bound. It didn't say you are bound to wives. It said you are bound unto a wife. Seek not to be loose. That means don't seek to be separate from that wife. Let's hear the cause. Are thou loosed from a wife? Seek not. Now, Paul is telling you, if you got a wife, stick with her. Stay together. Stay together. This is Paul talking to the Gentile and telling the men, don't seek to be loose from your wife. Paul never mentioned to them to have many wives. He only letting them know wife. If he knew that all the Hebrew Israelites were having wives, why wouldn't he translate that to the Gentile? Why is it that the Gentiles wasn't told that you can have many wives? Oh, but the Hebrews can, but the Gentiles can't. Paul was making a statement telling them, stay with your wife. Seek not to be separate from your wife. Now watch this, verse 28. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. If you married her, you haven't sinned. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. No, he said, nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. And this is what he's about to say. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives, meaning the men that have wives, be as though they have none. Be as though they have none. Verse 30. And they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. It's almost like he's speaking to the brethren about having a wife be as though you have none. I guess, I don't know who can talk, who can say something on that level. I think that that's a level of work, because he put everything that you possess as if you have nothing. Don't run around and use her as a possession. That's what I can get out of it. He's telling them, don't get bound to the point where, because everything he said in 30, he was telling them, they that weep as though they weep not, they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. He's putting wife in there. As though thou have none. Don't put big emphasis on what you have, which is a good thing. I believe even when he said to the men, they must deal with the woman as the weaker link. That alone leads me to understand strength. And he said, if you don't, I won't hear your prayers. I won't hear your prayers if you don't deal with her as the weaker link. Now, we know that the woman is not the weaker link. She's really the strong one. Because anytime a creator can name everything on the earth as a feminine entity, even the house of Israel, the bride, everything as a female entity, that would have to be the strong one. When he took the seed from the man and designed it for the woman to carry and go through all the other stuff, that wasn't because she sinned. Because what treatment did he get for disobeying the order itself? Nothing. Because the treatment they have set up in the book for the man and then to Adam, the woman suffered it from the beginning all the way to today. So it wasn't something that man don't suffer 9 months bringing a child, birthing a child. So why do we have to suffer what Adam was said to have gone through as his mean for disobeying Yah? The woman is in the oneness in that. I never could get that. And I know I won't get it because it was lies made inside of it. It ain't nothing to get but the lies. And when you go searching it, that's all you're going to get, the lies. Okay, so this last thing, I think I'm going to use this at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to cover Malachi because I learned in Malachi some things that I had not known. And I do know what I have known is that the Father been talking to us a mighty long thousand years. And even in the 400 years that he have given us to recognize us ourselves, we still can't see us. We see everything on the earth. We see everybody on the earth, but we still can't see us. And I will live and die believing that there was something in the 400 years that we were supposed to grip. I believe that there was something in the 400 years that we were supposed to embrace. It was something in the 400 years that we were supposed to be able to stand on the mountaintop with. And the ball was dropped. And the only reason why things got the way that it is today is because no one was given anything to go back to pick up the ball. Why? Because they wanted darkness more than they wanted light. They wanted to stay. It's just like Adam and Eve. You got a light on one side and you got a darkness on one side. And the light warned you about the darkness, that you're going to die. But did it stop you from going into darkness? No, I'm going to the darkness. I'm going to believe in the darkness. You see how simple and easy it was? That's how it is today. That's how simple and easy I see it from the wilderness. The multitude goes straight out to the people that feeds them the lies, the deception, the darkness, the evil. They don't want no part in the light. So when y'all come, they thinking, hey, I'm entitled to the light. I'm entitled to the light. Because I'm a Hebrew Israelite. You're a fool. Because even in your instruction book, it tells you. And I'm going to cover that at 7 p.m. Central Time, what he was telling to in Malachi. Malachi is one of the prophets. And I was like, so Father, this thing is that thick. See, when I was in the Christian church, they used to wear this thing out about Malachi. And the part that they talking about, the tithes and the offering. They wore that thing out. So then when I got into understanding the truth of it, I began to see it different than what they were teaching it. But do you all know that all the time they was teaching it, I still did not believe in it? I still did not believe in it. But to what it is, even to today, I sat and I went over Malachi as far as he was talking about the masters and the scholars. He was talking about Israelites in Jerusalem. Blew my mind. Just as we just covered 2 Timothy, where Paul was teaching Timothy, and the things that he was saying it to the Gentiles. So every Gentile on the face of the earth should have been able to grip that. Why didn't they teach that in the church, in the Catholic Church? Why would Paul be teaching it and the Catholic Church and the Christians are not teaching it? How did they get away with that? How did they get away with not following the protocol of what Paul died for? Paul was crucified. I mean, he was murdered. He was locked in prison. He suffered trying to teach the Gentiles what Yah wanted them to know. And when you pull up in 2 Timothy chapter 3, you mean to tell me he's talking to the Gentiles? Now, we know that some of the stuff still means he's speaking to us. But if you really get to pulling that and see that, wait a minute, he talking to the Gentiles? Wait a minute, hold up. Don't they know they're missing something? That's what he was saying. He was saying that they were ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge. If that's not true today, I don't know what is. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. It's so much stuff that we have sat back and sat down and allowed them to tell us. We are a nation of people that want people to tell us, but we don't want the servants of Yah to tell us. We don't want our nation, our own tribe to tell us. We want the Europeans to tell us. We don't receive nothing unless the Catholic and the European tell us. And the Europeans that believe in the pyramid, they sitting here trying to figure out who's on the top. Somebody got power and want power and control power, and that's somebody on the top of them. It's Satan. They didn't even know that. And they battling with it because they want to be able to pinpoint a flesh. We got to put a flesh. We got to put the flesh on the top of the pyramid. See, they don't understand. Satan is on the top of the pyramid. See, they can't deal with that, child. They can't deal with the fact that Satan is on the top of the pyramid. They want to deal with the pyramid like they didn't broke it up. They broke it down like I showed you all. The Jesuits, they broke it down. But when they broke it down, they can justify for it. They can clarify that, okay, that's the popes, and that's the Catholic, Roman Catholic, this is the priests, and this is the Jesuits. They know what's in there. The Freemasons, they got all of that. the Masonic. That's what I mean. They got it all in the pyramid. But then they say, but we don't understand who on the top. And they ain't talking about the top in the inside. They talking about the top of it all. Satan is the head of it. And they don't even know that because they can't see Satan. They can't put him like a human form onto the pyramid. So they can't claim him. That's how he was able to do the things that he's doing. I see this other guy named Bill, I forgot his Carson. He was talking about the pyramid edge and he goes there. And I said, let me tell you what Billy Carson didn't understand, don't know. And many of you, 99.15 billion still don't know. When I first saw Billy Carson, I boxed his eyes. I used a technique when I was 20 something years old that the Father had given me in the spirit realm. He taught me how to box the eyes. And the reason why I believe he insists on me knowing it is because my life was in jeopardy. Someone approached me, I put some trust in him, and that was my very life sitting right there. And then that day, after y'all saved me, I saved my life from being taken. I sat there and said, but why did you let me go into it? Y'all, I was lost. I was like, but why did you let me go in it? Why? Because I knew I was been dead. But I'm just still saying, I was trying to figure out why did he take me there? So after that, he said, from now on, I'm going to teach you how to box the eyes. So when I see Billy Carson, I boxed his eyes. If I'm able to box Billy's eyes, that means that black part of his eyes, I can put a box around it. That's one of the deadliest people that you want to be around. There's no trust, no spirit of any righteous in him. So when I boxed his eyes, I said, everybody saying Billy Carson, do those people know who they dealing with? Nope, they don't. They have no idea. But I boxed them bad boy. I boxed them eyes. And I got that whole cuticle, cuticle or whatever they buy. I got it into that box. I was like, yes, Deborah. Yes. I was like, I knew it. I knew it's a feel to it when you see it. It's a feeling that's added to it. So when he always talking about the pyramid, he goes there 6, 7, 8 times a year. And in the pyramid, I always think of the pyramid as there's got to be something down under the ground. And he kept talking about what's under the ground is they got this artifact, they got this, Then he got people telling people how they can take a tour and go and see up under the pyramid. But do you all understand? That's where they thinking they're going to escape. Many thinking they're going to escape underneath the pyramid. You see, while he's sitting his clown tail trying to convince somebody that he's a scholar, he know this and he know that. He didn't know nothing when that young European guy ate him up and ate him out. And I mean, he was lost. He didn't come back for a long time. Now he's back trying to tell somebody truth. Because what he did, he came and he denied God. He denied Christ. He denied Jesus. He denied all that. He said none of that is true. He denied the Bible. He denied everything. And that's how they do. They get people that's melanated to deceive us. And we do. Because let me show you something else that I learned. I didn't learn this. Let me stop lying. Y'all gave me a quickie. So I was cleaning up yesterday around about 10 o'clock because I wanted to clean up before I go to bed. And I thought about James Brown, Michael Jackson, Prince. I thought about all of those, Tupac, Biggie, all of those, and they still going. How the elites get rid of them. They get rid of them like 4 to 5 ways. It's either they drown Bob Marley, they drown, they had let me get it right, suicide, drown, hanging, you see, cancer. Why is it All these people in Hollywood that's melanated, why do they always be done away with and the melanated people don't say nothing? Because Judith is not going to get up. That is exactly what Jacob told Judith. You're going to be crouched down. You ain't getting up. That means lazy, slothful, ain't going to get up to do nothing. But we want to make somebody think that everybody bothering us. But we don't want to know really what we're doing. But I'm going to bring that to the surface at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to bring that bad boy up and I'm going to bring it out. This is what he gave me a quickie last night. And I said, so I can put that on along with that, because I was showing my ex-husband a program that they was talking about James Brown. And James Brown's son was talking. I was showing him that a couple of days ago. And James Brown's son was talking about Hollywood and how they do what they do best. And that his dad had sold his soul to them. And a lot of y'all don't understand. That's the Jewish people that rule over European. And they are European. Some of them are mixed with some other, but that's who they are. And he was saying that I was telling my ex-husband, I said, you see, this is what I be teaching you, trying to teach these people on YouTube. I was telling him, it's okay to tell the truth. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. His son was on there telling the truth. The European man asked him, so what do you think? You think he sold his soul to the devil? He said, yes. That's what he was singing when he was saying the crossroad. I said, that song he made out is the crossroad. Then his son said, and I remember being a young boy, he was telling me, no matter what you do, don't go near the crossroad. Don't go near the crossroad. And then they made a video. They showed a video that has never been seen. Let me tell you why it have not been seen. My ex-husband been following James Brown since he was 13. He had every album, every video, everything James Brown ever had. He had. But when he saw that video of his son speaking, you know what he said? His son said, what's his name? Jake? I don't know what, it began with J. James Brown, favorite son, his oldest son, died. My ex-husband said, oh no, that can't be. I said, what you mean it can't be? He said, his son said he didn't die, he got murdered. When did that? See? Oh, but you thought you knew it all, didn't you? He said, Deborah, you mean to tell me they murdered? Yes. They do all of them. James Brown's wife, she got killed on operating table. Oh, yes. And Kanye's wife, mother was a sacrifice. All that stuff. Michael Jordan, father was a sacrifice. Y'all, they've been doing this all this time. And this is why I know that we are a sick people. Because we can't see nothing, but yet we think we something. We can't see nothing, but we think we something. And then we'll turn around and proclaim everybody in the world bothering us. What are we doing to ourselves? What have we done to ourselves? We fail to recognize the issues that was really right there all the time. We never owned it. We reject owning the fact that these things is right before us, but we turn another way and want to blame someone else for where we are at, what we are doing, what is being done. It's like not wanting to see the light. 400 years and you still don't want to see the light? No, I am the light. That's how the mindset of these people. Now, this is what got me. That bothered me, that he was shocked because he said, but Deborah, you said I had never seen all this. I don't know what all this stuff is. He said, but that's him. That's what he mean in the song called A Crossroad. Then they did a video, an old video with, and I said, is that AI? He said, that's what I wanted him to see it. Is it AI? He said, nope, it's not. That's him. That's Crossroad, the song he made. This is what he was meaning in the song. And I'm like listening to him, and he done sold himself to the devil. The devil, you can't sell yourself to the devil. Yah has your spirit, not the devil. So that's what a lot of people need to stop lying. Devil can't get your soul. Ain't no soul. Only thing going to the lake of hell is your spirit. And he can't even get that. But just listening to, he got an opportunity to listen to what happened to, I think his name was Jake. I don't know what that name was with a G, James Brown's favorite son. I think he played with him in the band too. And he was murdered, y'all. And then they broke it. His brother broke it all down. I was like, wow. And my ex-husband was like, they lied. Holy shit. I said, what I try to teach them people on YouTube is this. The knowledge that y'all said going to be increasing is going to be the knowledge of the light. The knowledge of the light ain't coming to beg you to see light, to understand light, to see what was in the dark come to light. It ain't coming to do that. It coming to follow the order of my Father's will. It ain't coming to please you. It ain't coming to make you know something or you have something. It's coming to fulfill my Father's will. Its mission is to bring light out of the darkness that has been going on. It ain't coming to change people. The light that's coming out of darkness to reveal darkness is not coming to change you. It's over. It's coming to bring light of what darkness always was, is, and is consisted of. So he was just seeing it. He was just so hurt. And he was like dumbfounded. He was like, no, I can't believe they killed him. Deborah, they said he died. He was sick. No, he said they died. They said his Teddy, that's his brother named Teddy. They say he died of, I think, a car crash or something. But it wasn't, he was murdered. His brother told the whole story. And along with him was 2 other black men that were murdered. And they had 2 white women in the car. But they were murdered. James Brown, Teddy, James Brown's son, saw them, murdered his 2 friends, and they turned around and killed him last. They killed him. KKK, they said, was in it too. They killed him. They didn't kill the 2 white girls, but they killed them. So he been following the man. He's 70 now. He's been following this man since he's 13. So just imagine what he's saying today after the lie all the way back then. It was a long time ago, y'all, when he died. But this is the key that got me. So I was cleaning up last night, and I sat there and I was in the dish, washing dishes, and he began to say to me, they've been killing Judah for the longest. Judah don't have a mouth. That's the part of him being destroyed. Even if he saw it, he wouldn't speak. He would rather tell the lie as a serpent seed than to tell the truth. This is what he said. He said, now, the young guy, Deion Sanders, I don't know, y'all don't know nothing about this here, but I like football. And Deion Sanders in the last 2 years has been buffing against white people. Big time. Big time. And when he's buffing against these white people, he's interfering with this. Why? Because these are the Jesuits. They're over all the colleges. Okay? He has no idea. Even though he had got his life, said he had got his life right, he's a Christian now, he's a man of God. He should have stayed over in that field. Because he went in and took on being a coach. And for the last 2 years, he's been feuding with European people. I mean, big time. Now, all of a sudden, when his son didn't get the position he wanted with a college, matter of fact, he didn't get drafted at all. And then someone picked him up after everything when he was one of the best players that should have been first drafted, but they didn't pick him up. That shows you the power in the unity of them. And tell me you don't need Yah. Only one can defeat them is Yah. Y'all walking y'all tails around here, talking out of your mouth and out of your rear end about what you got. And who you got the ruach, and you got this. You ain't got nothing if you don't have that Holy Spirit in you, living through you, revealing to you. You ain't got nothing. I'm in here and thing, and it hurt it. He say, Deion Sanders, he got cancer out of nowhere. It just popped up. I don't know if y'all knew it. I think it started last month when it popped up saying he found out he had cancer. Same thing Bob Marley. Bob Marley didn't have no problems. All of a sudden he popped up and had cancer. Full blown. Same thing with each and every last one of them. They got away. They got cancer. They got suicide. They got the hanging. And they got the drowning. Those are the 4 things they uses to bring us to death, where nobody questioned it. And the Spirit told me that's what they did to Deion Sanders. He's the next one going down. You see that? And he ain't gonna go down slowly. You see? That's how they do. And then I wonder, I said, well, Father, you mean Judah ain't got no light? No light. When I say that, I'm talking about those who can make a difference in the voice. The Father said, no, they got a light for the world. They ain't got light for the righteous, for the faith that who I am, for the knowledge of who I am, for the wisdom of who I am. They don't have that. Everything they have is invested in who they are in the flesh and how they can get recognized in the flesh. Another rapper, they're dying by great numbers. Great numbers. Who's killing them? Their own kind. Who's setting them up to be killed? The Europeans. But you can't blame the Europeans because their hand is not on the trigger to take life. Judah take his own brother life. Judah is the one to take his mother life. Judah is the one to take his daughter life, his wife life. The wife take the children life. The wife take the husband life. Very few, but not. And nobody says nothing. That's why I don't listen to nobody. I don't pay no attention to nobody. Because nobody seems to see anything. Nobody don't know nothing. And what can you do? You can't do nothing about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But it ain't nothing wrong with talking about it. Speaking about it. That's what you call bringing it out of the darkness. Bringing light out of the darkness. Like this here stuff, all these people are dying. Millions. I mean, millions. At least 5 million a year. Ain't nobody saying nothing. It's coming from that they gave people. Oh, yeah. That they gave you, that's where it's coming from. You want me to tell you what that is? Those things that we don't see, but we're starting to hear about. My thing is it when I hear the science and all these high level doctors who trying to fight up against what's actually taking place, because these things are growing in your organs, not in your organs, in your vein. Why are they growing in your vein? I believe that's DNA from aliens. I believe that, but no doubt. And these dumb science, these dumb doctors, and all these dumb people is making it real clear. So this young man, he said he's been doing, I think he said 2009. He's been doing it a long time, trying to put the pyramid together to see who all is in there. Now he has it. He has it, y'all. I heard him out of his own mouth tell you who all in it. He got it right. He put them all in it, just like I did. And I was shocked, but it felt good that, but what he said overshadowed all of it because it made me realize ain't nothing on this earth yet Ain't nothing on this earth that your eyes cannot see and have seen. It's just that people wants to stay in the darkness of lies. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to be about. They want to cover their whole life with darkness. They want to hear the darkness spoke to themselves. They want everything in the darkness so they can feel comfortable in their flesh. So I, Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you all, and I will be back at 7 p.m. Central Time because I want to talk to Judah about what I found in Malachi. There's a lot of things that I had no idea of to be that potent. I would have used it in many of my messages had I known. But I give all glory and honor and praise to the Most High Yah, because he's the one that has allowed me to learn in such a midnight hour. And that's what Yah is about. He's about being who he is, a teacher, a revealer, a comforter, one that can show you things to come, one that can bring things back to your remembrance. If he can't be all that and some in you, he ain't got nothing to do with you. So I, Sister Deborah, says, appreciate each and every last one of you in the live chat, and I will be back. Shalom and shalom.